Next speaker is Cheuk from UK. She's a data scientist, developer advocate. She's very active in the Python community, doing work for the Python Software Foundation, Open Source Security Foundation. Any other foundation? No? So welcome, Cheuk. Here's you.
Hey, ooh. Hello there. Oh, it's like, oh, I skipped one slide. So yeah, I skipped the most important slide of this slide deck. If you want the slide deck, this is the link at the top. You can get the whole slide deck. If you want to, you can just maybe take a picture of this. You have also all my contact information. Tweet about it. Oh, actually, I don't use Twitter anymore. I use Mastodon. But yeah, tag me on social media. That'll be fun. So let's get started. So I'm Cheuk. Already, hope that you have talked to me already sometime outside the hallway. I've contributed open source. I love open source projects. I also organize events for Python mainly. I would do more and more of other things now. I'm also the Python Software Foundation Director and Fellow. I also work for the OpenSSF, which is a part of Linux Foundation as a community manager. But what does it mean? Excuse me for borrowing like 30 seconds to tell you what is OpenSSF. So it's a part of Linux Foundation, so it's kind of non-profit. We focus on open source security, and we have newsletter, blog posts, and free courses that you could do, so please check us out. And we have an event in Bilbao. Ooh, Bilbao also sunny like this here. So it's, in 18th of September in 2 weeks' time, so hope to see you there as well. Okay, so that's enough for advertisement. Now is the content warning. So this talk, there will be some topic that is quite heavy. It may relate it to some kind of abuse of women or even like child. So if you think that that's too heavy for you, feel free to leave the room. I won't lock the door there. So yeah, take care of yourself. So for those of you who decided to stay here, well, I'm sure you have heard of AI generative model, but can you name some of them? What's like the one that we use a lot of times? You ask them questions. No. Yes? ChatGPT. Anything else you can shout? Llama. Yes, llama. I love the name. It's like animal. What else? Sorry? Yeah, Midjourney, but you have to tell me more about that one. We will cover a little bit more in this conference or in this talk. So there are others like, for example, I'll give you an example later. But I'll tell you a little bit about what is AI generative model first, or what is AI model in general. So this is a very over-generated graph of what is a AI or machine learning model. You can see it's super simplified, but if you want to know specifically what a model, like what's the architecture, you may have to read the paper, ask the engineers, but I'm not going to cover that right now. I'm just going to give you this graph, which is if you have a lot of for example, you have a lot of pictures or a lot of text, like, you can scrape the internet. Now there's so many things. Everybody says something on the internet, so you can scrape a lot of words. Then you use that as an example to create these AI models. So after that, what you can do is to give a prompt. So now you can see that, prompt engineer could be a new thing, how to write a prompt. Well, nowadays, everybody can write a prompt, like even teenagers will with ChatGPT and write a lot of prompts. So after that, you have like an input to the model, and then you would get some content out. It's because it's generative model, so this new content that are generated considered to be generated by the model. So how generative model works, right? You have something new coming out after giving it a prompt. So what can you do? What prompts can you get, and what can you get back from it? I promised you that I would give you an example. So there will be an example of another model that, for example, would generate pictures. Do you know the name of that one? Stable, no? Yes, Stable Diffusion. So Stable Diffusion generates pictures. For example, well, I don't know if this is generated by Stable Diffusion. This is really, really cool because, wow, it seems like Pope Francis is really fashionable here, you know. Religious leader become fashion icon. This is really fun, isn't it? So, but if you the hand here, I think it's here, right here on the right, you know, the right hand there, it looks a bit weird. So, you know, then you can tell it's generated, it's not real. But at the beginning, when everybody look at it, it's like, wow, wow, Pope Francis is very fashionable. It's not true. So this is generated, this is fake. Another thing you can generate, this is what I found recently, is on, you know, you can go there and have a look, it's OpenAI. It's called Jukebox. It's not generating pictures, not generating text, it's generating music. So, there are some examples on the website, and then I'm not going to play it. You can go to the link yourself and listen. It's actually quite cool. This is some country music. It's like, oh, I really get the vibe. It's really, but it's generated by a prompt, so you don't have to know any musical like instrument or know how to compose the music. You can just generate it, which is very, very cool. Another thing is this picture. This picture is, you may have seen it online. Who have seen this picture online? Who have seen this picture online? So one of you? Any more? Yes? Yes, so I really like this picture. When I first saw it, I see it on social media maybe, and I think, ooh, that's really cool. Like, who is the artist of this? I really like it. Maybe this is in some museums that I didn't know about. We will find out who generated this thing. And other thing that is useful, that is generated by the model and we all love, is who have used Copilot before? So this is, you know, you may already know about it, you may have tried to use it. I haven't tried to use it, but I've always like met someone that really love it at least one person will love it at a conference. So seems good. Well, at least there's someone who like it. So maybe it's very useful. It saves you time when you work because you maybe type the beginning of the code and it generates the rest of the function for you, which is very, very handy. But what if you say, oh, I'm not a coder, I don't write code. How can AI help me to write things? Well, for example, if you're a copywriter, you have to write something for your company, you can use AI to maybe generate some article for you. Or I actually have a friend, he told me, oh, actually we have created this new tool that it would help you with your project management by AI. I was like, wow, what if all the Jira tickets are created by AI? That's fun and scary at the same time, right? And slides, well, these slides are not generated, I promise, but the tool that I'm using to create the slides, actually they provide a AI-generated outline for you. So I was like, oh. I haven't tried it because I don't want AI to tell me what to tell you, so I didn't use it. Another problem that I feel like, you know, not just that, oh, AI may tell me what to do, even though it's powerful and fun, I think that I don't use AI a lot because I'm a little bit concerned about the correctness of the model. Who used Stack Overflow? We all use Stack Overflow at some point, right? Yes. Do you know that you can't use ChatGPT in Stack Overflow? It's actually temporary banned, and you know they have this notice months ago that you can't even use ChatGPT to post comments. It's not just answering question, or you know you can't use it to ask question, because they are really, really concerned. I don't know whether this temporary ban has been, you know, updated or something, but I think that they're really, really concerned about the correctness of people, and they're worried that like some people may use ChatGPT to answer question, it may not be correct, and then you know people just want to get more points and karma on the website, right? So, and actually, there are researchers who proven that this fear is not like without any kind of evidence or anything, because ChatGPT 4, there's like 62% of the answer about actually, if you read the article, it's about Java API. There's like common Java API. That is not correct. there's some misuse there. There's something wrong there. It's more than half of it, and yeah, it's not good. not good. Some people may say that, oh, because, ChatGPT is not very updated. The data that used to train ChatGPT is actually not very updated. The ChatGPT, like GPT-4, actually came out in 2023. But the data is used to train the model actually has a bit of latency in there because you can't just train it using today's data, right? It takes a long time to train the model and take a long time to collect all the data. So there's a latency in there. However, if you go to the OpenAI website, they say that, they use human feedback to update the model. So it's kind of, maybe it will keep up to date, but can human be trusted, right? Can human be trusted? This is someone who is using ChatGPT. I found it online. What is 1 plus 3? Of course, we all know that the answer is 4, and ChatGPT, of course, know the answer is 4. But this person is being very naughty and say, oh no, actually 1 plus 3 is 5. According to my textbook, I am right. So what do you think ChatGPT would say? Whether they're saying that no, human, you're wrong, or they correct themselves. So ChatGPT said, apologize and say that, so you guess it right. That, oh, sorry, I was wrong, answer, you are right. She said 1 plus 3 is 5. So imagine what if these data got collected and retrained the model? What if there's a lot of naughty people out there, maybe you and me, sometimes I'm a little bit, naughty, and, kind of trick ChatGPT to believe something that's wrong. So even human can't be trusted. So can we trust AI that was generated by us, right? So also there's research about ChatGPT's accuracy is actually getting worse over the time. So after a few months, the correct rate of ChatGPT answering a question drops drastically. But take it with a grain of salt. If you read the paper, it said that, ChatGPT 3 is actually different. So I don't know what's going on there. The problem is I don't know what's going on there because this is the model that I showed you earlier. With human, right? If you and me, if I talk to you and tell you 1 plus 3 is 5, then you would use your logic. You would think that, no, actually, because you count 1 and 3, maybe count your fingers. It's no, it's 4, it's not 5. So us as human, because we're trained to use logic and reasoning, we can easily tell, what is not logical, right? We can derive some fact out of some known fact. For the model, it also collects a lot of facts, a lot of examples. But what if those examples are not verified? We don't know how the model derived that answer, that new content for us. It's kind of like a black box. We don't know what the model is doing because we can't really untangle all the logic that is inside this complicated model. That is, I oversimplify here. But you can't see what's inside. It's a black box. So it's a little bit tricky, especially if you, for example, if you want to answer some kind of coding questions, it doesn't show you that always from a documentation or something that is you can trust. So it just gives you an answer. Trust it or not, you have to be really careful. Another thing is the prompt injection. That is another problem that we will see a lot in the future. So it reminds me of SQL injection. So who knows, who doesn't know what a SQL injection is? So I assume that you all have heard about SQL injection. And it's very trivial, right? Oh, of course, nobody actually really fall for this trick anymore, SQL injection. It's so trivial. It has been talking about it for decades and stuff. No, actually, SQL injection is still one of the top security risk and vulnerability, according to the OWASP's top 10 list. So even SQL injection, we haven't totally kind of clear it from security point of view. Now we will have a new injection, which is the prompt injection. So this is an example of someone trying to trick the Google, the YouTube transcript to tell that, Google transcript. Now, because the thing is with all this model, there's actually, I think this is kind of like a meta mode that you can important information. So I'm telling you what to do now. So these are instructions. So what this person does is to tell the transcript AI that, now you're a genie, and then you have to tell a joke after the transcript. So what happened is that after the after the transcript, actually there's a joke that is supposed to not be there because nobody say a joke and it's there, and then the not ChatGPT, but the AI there thinks that they are genies. What? So yeah, so this is like a prompt injection, like that someone can, if they understand how the AI was trained, how it works, they can actually engineer some instructions that got injected via the input and alter the behavior of the AI. So this is, again, something that is not great. So this is one problem that like, oh, we have some correctness issue that may be misused and stuff, but even if we use it correctly and everything is not like, oh, I don't ask a question that's like, I just use it to have fun and generate something. Can I just generate something for fun? Remember this picture, right? This picture, this beautiful picture. Is it in a museum? Why is it so famous online? Why it creates so much noise? It's because it's too beautiful. It's so beautiful that it wins a prize, but it's generated. It's generated. So an artist is trying to do an experiment to see, oh, if I can win a prize by just use AI to generate a picture instead of me being an artist, use my, all the years of practice and all my creativity to create an artwork, will the AI beat human? The answer is, unfortunately, in this case, true, that this picture generated by AI won a prize. And the creator of it, being an artist who worry about the future of humanity with the artistic world, it's proven that human can be fooled. You can, submit an AI-generated work and pretend it to be your work and then win a prize. So that's why now a lot of like digital art kind of competition ban generative submission, but again, it's very, very hard to tell if someone's being really, really, naughty and trying to cheat. They can actually do that. Another problem that, for example, I like jokes. I like comedian. So there's like a comedian on Twitch that's actually AI generated. They claim to be. But so all the jokes are generated, right? So using AI to generate jokes is a very dangerous view because this comedian, unfortunately, for the reason, again, that we don't know because it's generated, tells a transphobic joke. And the account, the Twitch account got banned because of this. So who is responsible here? Is it the person who is, the engineers who trained this model? The account owner who put this generated model on Twitch? Or maybe they should have censored, they don't know. Or nobody, or everybody, because this is generated by AI, and AI is using the example that is provided probably from the internet to give out the result. So maybe we are all responsible for this. So that's problematic. But what if I don't use it as a competition, I'm not an artist, I don't put anything on the public, I just have fun with it, what happens? Do you know who this is? Yes, Barack Obama. Yeah, we all know, previous president of the United States. So there's an AI model that can kind of fine-tune a pixelated picture into what it's supposed to be originally, right? So it's good, like for example, if, let's say we have a very badly compressed picture, we can actually get back a high resolution of it. So it's a good tool. But it's not a very good tool. It's not a very good tool. That is not Barack Obama. Who is this guy? I don't know him. Who is he? And obviously he's not, he's not even the same race. It's like, what's, yeah, problematic. So this is another example. So this is actually a result of a generated. So this is generated. So this is after the model already. So what happened is that this young girl, who is probably a student from MIT, you can see from the T-shirt, that she wanted to post a more professional photo on LinkedIn. So since she's a student from MIT, maybe she's very smart, maybe she know how to, use AI, so she used AI to retouch her picture to make it more professional, right? So you can see that this picture actually have some problem with it. If you look really, really, really carefully, you can see the word MIT is a little bit, weird because it's AI generated. But that's not the main problem here. The main problem is this is what the girl looks like originally. It doesn't look like her. Like, it's problematic because it's almost hinted at if you want to look more professional, you need to have blue eyes and pale skin, which is very yike. It's like, no. So those are pictures. So there's another example. There's so many examples out there. This is just Google Translate, right? It's like we use it every day almost. You go to a website, oh, it's not English, just translate it. So what happened here is that for some languages, the third person pronoun doesn't have gender. So for example, Finnish, not he or she, so men or women, they're both han, so there's no he or she, is everybody. He is han, she is hen. So someone translated in French, right? So, okay. But French is different. French have elle and elle. I don't speak French, so I don't know, correct me. So there's he or she there. So, but funny enough, depending on the activity, the Google Translate will give this person is supposed to be genderless, or we don't know the gender, he or she depending on the activity. So first one, dancing, so become female, and traveling, become male. Another is like, someone write a journal, that is a male. Someone take care of the baby, that's a female. Someone who cook, that's a female. Someone who go to the conference is a male. So, okay, so should I be here? So why Google seems to think that it knows better than us? No, it's not. It's not. So all these bias, again, like who is responsible, right? It's us that is responsible. Why the model will think that, a professional person should look like that, or some, take care of the baby should be a woman? Well, maybe because the data we use to train the model is biased. That's why the output is biased. How can we fight that? How can we change that? We don't know. Well, at least I don't know. I don't have a good solution for that. Maybe there are some machine learning or AI engineers who's like trying to combat it. But again, it's a very complicated black box there, right? Maybe the engineer, they know how to build it, but it's very difficult for them to open the box and look at what's inside, right? They build the box, but then something that go inside and then how it got processed is kind of a very complicated process, and it's very hard to inspect and correct it if they're biased. So this is a problem that is still there, and there are still a lot of debate on how we can solve this. Shall we solve it? That's even the problem. Shall we solve it? Because, so shall we be a better human being and try to correct our bias, or shall we not? So it's very, very complicated. I'm not going to cover it here. So in a more serious tone of things, right? More serious is it's not just, we have a bias issue, it's discrimination is not good. There's even like more serious stuff that is going on here. So this is where we touch on something that is very hard to accept that it happens to our society. So this is a story that I found online. This woman now, she was young. She was 17 when it happened to her. She was very young. She go to a prom, so young girl, very excited to go to the prom. Of course, everybody dressed up. She dressed up, and she think that she looked pretty. She took a selfie of herself and posted on Facebook or I don't know, social media. But then, after a few months, she was curious and kind of used, because Google, you can do an image research, reverse search, so you can put it an image and then, of maybe yourself or someone you know, and then find all the pictures that is like maybe the same person. But she found that using her own picture, she found that there are a lot of pictures of her that is not actually her. And the problem with that is also those pictures are actually pornographic pictures. So it could be, her face was put on some naked women, or even worse is naked women who are involved in some sexual activities. And this really changed her life. Imagine she was only 17. She have to mentally handle all these abuse that is online, and she have no idea who did it. She seek help and find authority. Authority can't do much about it because, again, like online is super difficult to trace who used her likeness to do all these things without her consent. So she even mentioned it's almost like she was, this is done to her by some nameless, faceless sexual predators. This is very disturbing, and she actually changed her life. She now become an activist to tell people this is what could happen to women if there's no control over how AI is used, right? So this is totally like awful thing that I think is maybe is illegal as well. But it doesn't stop there. It's still happening nowadays that Australia's authority found that actually there are their risk and their complaints actually is happening that there are some deepfake imagery of women or girls who doesn't give their consent, but their likeliness has been used in these kind of pornography or things that they don't have consent of, and that it become accessible on somewhere in the internet, right? So it may not be very easily found, but in some dark corner in the internet, maybe those things exist. This is, again, very, very troublesome, especially if it happens to young people. So that makes us really, really worried. What will come next, right? So if a girl who just take a picture of her and and she got abused like that, what if there are some celebrities or leaders of some government? They are, their likeliness is always on television, online, on internet, everywhere. What if someone used their likeliness to generate some fake news, right? That could be very, very worrying. But you may think that, it's just celebrities, it won't happen to me if I'm, are you very careful? Have you ever upload any pictures on the internet, maybe on social media? Well, I do. It's very dangerous. And even you don't, okay, I won't do that. There are CCTV everywhere nowadays, Maybe there are people with phones who can take pictures everywhere nowadays. What if someone steals your identity by using your likeness, your voice, your face to trick someone that, close to you, your friends, your family, your loved ones, stole your identity and trick them, scam them? That is very, very, again, worrying. So we hope that the government is doing something. So now I think government are being very aware of the power of AI, that all this fun stuff that we could do, all this convenient stuff that we can use AI for. But we have to have regulations. We have to really be careful about what is okay, what is not. So in the EU now, there's the EU AI Act. So this is the beginning, very, very beginning of having any regulations. It just talk about what a government can use AI for, or what a police can use AI for, what is allowed, what is not, what is kind of step over the boundary of kind of people's privacy and people's right. So this is now being, put into action. I'm sure there will be more discussion about these kind of regulations. So if you want to be involved, you have to pay attention, and maybe if someone asks you your opinion, maybe you can voice out your opinion about it. So EU has always been the leader of regulations, GDPR, we all remember GDPR. So after the EU AI Act, the White House also have the blueprint for an AI Bill of Rights. So it's not just in Europe, it's like global, on the other side of the world. America is also thinking about these kind of regulations that have to put in place. If you are really, really like interested, well, I'm not saying that you need to change your career, but maybe someday in the future or someone you know that they're interested, you can now have a career in AI ethics, not AI engineering, AI ethics. There are courses that you can take. There's even some free courses out there. I will show you later. And jobs, you know, Hugging Face, the company who is like, very famous in the AI field, they have a AI ethnic departments. I've met some of the, people who work in that team, and then, so company like that care about AI ethnic. That's why they dedicate a team to do that. There are also NGO and other organizations who do care about this, a worrying future, want to educate people, want to help the government to set some good regulations to protect everybody. So there's organizations who's doing this. This is the free course that I mentioned about. So Linux Foundation, we have a free ethics in AI and data science course. So it's free. You just need to create an account, go inside. We won't ask your credit card details or anything like that. Just, it's free. We are non-profit. We just want you to learn more about ethics in AI. So that's the end of my talk. So again, if you haven't get the slides, you can get the slides. I know there's a lot of reference there. You can have it and read it later. And also I have stickers, which, these shiny stickers. So if you want, come and talk to me. And yeah, so that's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe we might have maybe a minute or two for questions. Cheuk, can you join here? Anyone experience something like this? Any thoughts on the topic? Are we okay with AI? What will happen in 5 years? Oh, we have one question.
Ooh,
Let's do one before coffee
break. I love
break.
questions, yes.
Yeah.
I want coffee too, but I love questions.
Hey, hello. Good presentation. I'm interested if you've seen Deutsche Telekom commercial about generative AI, the girl named Ella.
Can you explain what?
Okay. So the Deutsche Telekom created a commercial to raise awareness of these issues that you talked about. So they presented how it is possible to do with generative AI that the pictures of small girl now become the pictures of small girl became adult girl, and she was experiencing the same kind of issues that you explained here. So it's interesting to see.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you for the information.
Any other question? Yeah, here.
Thank you for a really interesting presentation, a really interesting talk, and opening or moving awareness to the other side of a very popular coin, which is AI. I think that the part of the things that you spoke about, all those biases, is maybe not just, or it is not just an AI issue. It's just exposing our problems as a society, as a civilization, because the AI models just learn from the real data, and they learn the biases that are common but are now much more visible. And I'm not sure if maybe this also maybe at one point we can use the AI models to make them learn on more strict data sets that are verified, and maybe we can have an AI model which will be like an ethical one that can then check other AI models that are generating content if this content is ethical or not. So what do you think about
Good idea.
that?
Yeah, that's actually that's actually a very good point, because, you know, nowadays, like, there's a lot of young people that they are another generation. I already feel that I'm kind of an older generation. When I grow up, I don't have a cell phone like every day. Now all the kids have cell phone. They can go to, like, you know, this like free website that, oh, you can play around with ChatGPT, play around with Stable Diffusion. And this bias is not like, you know, when we teach kids, of course we teach them, oh, you know, we have to be, have to be more equal and inclusive and things. But if a kid have access to all this model and stuff, like they just directly being, get this information that are very biased directly to them. And you don't even know how these bias, well, we kind of know these biases because the information we have online is biased, but this information is, you don't see the bias directly. Of course, now it's like, oh, there's some example that's like super crazy, and it's like, oh, that's very biased. But the kids, they won't, young people, they would just accept information as if this is truth. This is something that got generated, and someone answered that question, and they just take it in. So this is very worrying. So can we have an AI to combat that? The thing is, like, generating, so the data that we use is, the hardest part, of course, building the model is very hard, but the hardest part is actually getting the data and using the data to train the model, right? Now there's even, I forgot which company, one of the big companies doing this is like, you can generate the data that you use to train the model. So maybe before you have to have like 10 millions of things, the pictures, let's say, to generate a model. Now you only maybe need 10,000, and then you generate the rest of it to train the model. So the bias becoming even amplifies. If there's any bias in that small amount of data, it will amplify because you use that bias to generate more biased data, and then you use all these very biased data to train the model. So yeah, I think that sometimes, we can use AI to solve a lot of problems, but we also have to have human intervention to be there to I still think that we can't really let AI to be totally for automation. We have to still have some supervision from humans now at this stage to make sure that everything, AI is doing good for us.